we're all good, and then I jump into a volcano.
I think if you have the opportunity to sacrifice yourself, it's not really clear, like, will this actually save the island?
Right.
But in this world of fairy tale, you're like, yeah, maybe it would. If you could save all those people, sure.
Yeah.
I'd jump into a volcano.
Yeah, I think so. Because you're doing like a good thing.
Even if now you said if you jump into a volcano, 200 people won't die, I'd do it.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'd have to have something like being ill going before I was
I'd just go.
ready to do it.
I'm ready to go right now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Where's the nearest volcano? Let's go.
No, I need you.
Well, should we get into it?
Yeah, I guess so.
Let's start it up. Welcome, everyone, to a very special episode of I Love This, You Should Too. My name is Indy versus the volcano Randhawa, and with me is my lovely co-host, Samantha. Don't throw me in a volcano, Randhawa.
Please don't throw me in a volcano. If you could like avoid that at all costs, that would be great.
You know what? I don't guarantee a lot, but I'm going to make a guarantee. I will not throw you into a volcano.
Thank you.
You got it.
Aw, did we just like renew our vows there?
That's what it is. It's like, I promise not to throw you into a volcano. Well, in case it wasn't clear, we are wrapping up our Tom Hanks, Meg Ryan trilogy with the movie that should have come first if we knew we were doing a trilogy.
Yeah.
It's Joe Versus The Volcano. So Samantha picked Sleepless in Seattle first. And we did that. And then I said, you probably will like You've Got Mail better. And you did. Mm-hmm. And we did that one. And then we thought, like, well, we're already two in. We might as well do all three. And we can say this one was my pick because I did, in fact, see this movie before. I saw it as a 5-year-old, maybe 6, in theaters.
Oh, wow.
And I remembered a bunch of it. Not a bunch, but I remembered parts of it. So I'll get into all of my business first, but first thoughts on your first viewing of Joe versus the Volcano?
I didn't love it. I think the other two movies were better. It was fine, I guess.
It was fine.
Yeah.
Classic Sam answer.
Sorry.
But usually it's I liked it and I didn't love it. This one is just it was fine.
It was fine. I didn't love it.
Didn't even like it.
No, it was.
Wow.
It was okay.
Just okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you?
I loved it.
You loved it.
I was so surprised how much I loved it.
You were laughing quite a bit.
I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
I was like, why aren't you laughing at any of these very, very funny things that are happening? But you did not.
Yeah, I didn't love it as much as you did. So
I would put this as my number one of these two being together. I go Joe versus the Volcano, then You've Got Mail, then Sleepless in Seattle.
okay.
What's your ranking?
You've Got Mail, Sleepless in Seattle, Joe.
Wow. So I was saying I remembered some things about this, and I put this in the 3 movies that I remember seeing in theaters first in my life, and I'm not exactly sure of the order. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Joe versus the Volcano, and Aladdin. Mm-hmm. We didn't go to movies very often, so I think these were the first 3 times I had been to movies. Oh. And I'm pretty sure April took me to see this one. And I don't know why a kid would like this movie, but I did. And the things that stuck with me were the opening scene that's all depressing and in his place of work.
Yeah.
That, the luggage. I remembered the luggage, and that might have actually been it. Actually, what I remembered most was that this was the movie that showed me that things can be not realistic. Mm-hmm. You know me, and I always talk about German expressionism and how much I love that. That was kind of one of my favorite eras of filmmaking. There's so much in this, and this was my first taste of expressionism, and I loved it. And nothing has changed these many, many years later.
You still love it.
And I loved this movie, which I was very surprised that I liked it as much as I did.
Yeah.
I thought it was just fantastic. I feel like we don't get to see a lot of movies that are... It's essentially a fairy tale. It has a lot of surrealism and expressionism in it. I think it was very funny. I think there's a lot of layers to it, that which we'll probably get into some of them. Mm-hmm. But usually when we do a movie like The Shining, I had a lot to say about that. Mm-hmm. We watch the movie, we record like a week later because I need to write my essays down.
You need to like stew on some of these movies.
This one, I said we're going to watch it one day, we'll record the next day because there's a nice like comedy.
Yeah.
We don't need to. And I was wrong.
Do you have an essay?
I could have many, but I didn't have any time.
Yeah. Sorry.
There is so much to this. There is the hero's journey. There's a bunch of Jungian stuff in this too, and it's very clear. It's not just Indy reaching for stuff. It's this writer-director whose name you will tell me because you always have all the stuff up with you.
Yes.
But he wrote and directed this, then nothing for like 20, 30 years, and then he did Doubt.
Oh.
He wrote and directed that.
John Patrick Shanley.
So he's a playwright. That's what he's most known for. And he does a lot of stuff in New York. He writes and directs for the stage. He got this movie. It did not go well. I think it went just fantastically. But it didn't do well, so he didn't get another chance until that movie Doubt, which he wrote and I think was a play first. And then he directed the movie, which is, I believe, about nuns. And it's like Meryl Streep or something. Is that right?
I thought it was Glenn Close.
So very different scripts. Mm-hmm. And knowing that makes me think that all of these references that I think I see in it are probably actually very intentional.
No, you were correct first. It was Meryl Streep and Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry. I just felt like I needed to add that in. For some reason, I was seeing her in my brain, but I'm probably wrong. It's fine.
Maybe they were both in it.
Maybe.
It doesn't matter because we're not talking about Doubt.
True. Yes. We're talking about Joe Volcano.
Joe Volcano. That's his name. And this movie also seems like a precursor to a lot of movies that I do like. Office Space in a way, but more like American Beauty and The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. These movies about how work essentially crushes your spirit. And that's what this is about. Oh, kind of at its heart, I think.
Oh boy, does it.
Does it ever?
I could see that. I really liked that through line of like his life got so much better when he stopped working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So which thing should we talk about first? Well, you know what I want to ask first. When did you, or even did you realize that Meg Ryan plays multiple roles?
Oh, like pretty much at the beginning.
When you saw Dee Dee, you're like, there's Meg Ryan.
Yes, yeah.
I didn't realize that was her, and then I just kept waiting, and then there's certain lines she would deliver, and I'm like, oh, that's Meg Ryan. I know when I was a kid, I guess I didn't know who Meg Ryan was, but then I didn't realize that it was one actor playing three roles.
Oh, yeah. The first, Dee Dee's the one in The Office, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so she was the only one that was like, is that Meg Ryan? Because I knew Meg Ryan was in it, obviously, because we're doing a Meg Ryan thing.
Yeah.
But like, I did question myself in that first little bit when you see her, and then as soon as Angelica and Patricia were on, I was like, well, yeah, that's the Meg Ryan we know and love.
Angelica, that performance I thought was hilarious. She always exhales as she speaks, but
Yeah.
it feels like she doesn't use her lips.
Yeah.
She's kind of barking things, and she kind of talked like this.
Yeah.
And I thought it was just
That
hilarious.
was a very good performance. I think she's such a versatile actor in this.
She doesn't get the chance to do
No.
stuff like this.
Because she was like the love interest
She
for
just
so
plays
many years.
Yeah, she plays that role, and she does that role just fine. She's great at it.
But this character work was something else.
Oh, I loved it. I thought Dee Dee was so funny, how she's just so asthmatic, and then when she's surprised, how her face lights up, but how usually crushed and kind of mousy she is. I loved that performance. I loved Angelica. That was kind of a mix of like Katharine Hepburn and Marilyn Monroe and Valley Girl, just kind of all of Hollywood. They just threw it all together and made Angelica.
Uh-huh.
And then maybe my least favorite one was just the one that she played kind of straight, because she's doing less on that one.
Yeah. Yeah. She just did like so many different things in each one that like really worked out well. And like, I feel like this movie is like an acting reel for what Meg Ryan can do.
Yeah. And I think this was pretty close to the beginning of her getting out there. So maybe people saw that versatility, or maybe they didn't, and they only realized the last one was her, and then they just cast her in that kind of role.
Yeah, over and over and over again.
And for all of you Jungians out there, I know you're saying like, hey, Indy, don't you realize that this is clearly a stand-in for Jung's progression of the anima? And I'm, yes, I do. It seems very much like that. The fragmented feminine persona, and first he's yearning for connection through Dee, and then there's the false fulfillment and the seduction of the glamorous Angelica, and then the authentic union, of course, in whatever the last one's name was.
Patricia.
Yeah. I know nobody wants to hear about my Jungian stuff. So I'll just say one thing, that this whole idea is about the development of one person's psyche and how a man has a feminine inside them that helps eventually make them a full human. Mm-hmm. And that's what happens to Joe throughout this movie. And these three roles are stand-ins for progressions of that.
Right.
So if you want to go read some Jung, you'll be like, yes, I should have just watched Joe Versus The Volcano. It's much more enjoyable to do it this way.
And listen to this podcast because Indy described it to me. Now I know. Now I'm going to be like, oh, that's so Jungian.
It is so Jungian.
And do the hair flip with it and be like, oh, obviously, it's Jungian.
Clearly.
Because that's how I like to talk to people, is very condescendingly and like annoyed that I even have to describe it to them.
And then I think having her play these three roles also is just really lends itself to the fairy tale nature of this. And I think it goes into all of the anti-capitalist stuff in this too. Because I think this movie is clearly anti-capitalist. Like, you start out with the workplace and it's this very oppressive place. It's dehumanizing and it's soul killing, literally, because his soul of his shoe is being ruined by his work. Yeah. So it's taken his soul from him. Oh. And then you get this wealthy industrialist who comes in and is exploiting the people of this island, is exploiting Joe, is whoever he can. He uses his money to get people to bend to his will, including his daughters. Mm-hmm. In that part, it's very clear. But then I think that also goes through the three Meg Ryan roles, because with Dee, his relationship is unsuccessful because she is still beholden to that capitalist world. She cannot get out of it. What's the middle one's name? Angelica? Angelica is trying to. She says, oh, yes, I'm a poet and a painter. But where are her paintings? In her father's place. And she is still part of that world. It seems, though, she kind of walks away with confidence when she parts with Joe. So maybe she's going to kind of extradite herself from that world. Maybe. And then with the third Meg Ryan, at first they are fighting, and she reveals that she is doing this because she will then get the boat. So she's, again, beholden to someone else for monetary gain. And she sees this as the worst part of herself. She's angry at Joe because he kind of reflects this too. Like, you're doing something for the same reasons I am. I hate that about myself, and that's why I'm so mean to you. And it's not until the boat is destroyed, she no longer has that link. She is just free. She can do as she wishes, and that's when she can finally fall in love with Joe. Mm-hmm. So I think all of it lends itself to being very anti-capitalist, and when you get out of that system is when you are truly free.
Yeah.
Joe thinks he gets out of it earlier, and he, of course, gets the haircut, doesn't look so pale, starts feeling better. So those are the first steps of him freeing himself from that world. Yeah. But he still is under whatever that guy's name is, Thumb. Played by Lloyd Bridges, but that guy.
Mr. Graynamore.
He is still controlled by him ultimately, right?
Yeah.
And then when he has that kind of the epiphany of look how big, I forgot how big, I think is what he says, and which is one of my favorite bits. That's when he can truly be free and can truly love. Mm-hmm. Because all of his relationships before then were just kind of half-hearted attempts that fail.
Whoa, man. I do enjoy hearing all of your essays, because it's like stuff that I don't notice And it's always interesting to hear like another layer on top of like a movie like this.
But this movie is just layers. It's like a lasagna, this movie. It's one of those lasagna movies I talk about.
Oh, I love a lasagna movie.
And a delicious lasagna that goes down easy because you don't need to, like, this isn't one that you feel like, oh, I missed something or I need to do my work. You have a great time and then it's also brilliant. Or you have a fine time like you did.
It was fine, yeah.
It was so funny too.
I'm sorry. I feel like I'm like ruining your podcast.
No, you don't have to love it. That's kind of, although I love this and you should too.
Oh.
But the podcast is not called I love this and you must as well. That's a different show where we just berate each other. Why don't you like this?
You never like it.
Do you want to talk about some expressionism and maybe surrealism and just symbolism in general?
Oh, do I?
Yay! Just all the visual stuff, I guess.
Sounds good.
So the beginning part, I loved how that looked. What about you? His work.
Yes. I thought that was such a good depiction of like corporate America and how you like punch your time card and it's super bleak and nothing good ever happens. And it's like very sad and like downtrodden. And I really enjoyed the like opening look at that. I thought that was really fun.
That stood out to me as a kid, as the first time I realized at like 5 years old that you can make something look a certain way and then I will feel a certain way. Mm-hmm. That was my introduction to it. And what a great example of it. Yeah. I still think it holds up. The sets in this, I think, are fantastic. It is very theatrical. You could see that it's someone coming from the world of theater.
Yeah.
A lot of it feels like that. And this borrows a lot from another German expressionist film, Metropolis. The beginning is very much like Metropolis. Oh, and I guess I should say what expressionism is. You've been forced to hear about it for years, but in case you're new...
I know all about it.
Expressionism just means that the visual style usually of how things are constructed on screen elicit a certain emotion. Like the emotion of these characters is extending from their own performances to the world around them. They feel bleak and miserable, and everything around them looks bleak and miserable. Mm-hmm. And in film, the Germans did a very good job of this in the 19-teens through 20s and 30s, and then that came over into film noir and horror and such. And movies like Joe Versus The Volcano. I loved the bits of like the coffee. Like how it was like lumpy, the flickering lights, how bad his hair was, how pale and grotesque he looked.
His hair, I was like, they can't do this the whole movie. They absolutely cannot keep this going.
And how we were watching movies from like the decade after this and looking at him like, how does he look older in this one?
Yeah, with the like eye bags and the tone of his skin, like the lighting in there did nobody justice. I hate fluorescent lighting, but this was a whole new level of terrible lighting.
And it was just perfect.
Yeah, it really did work.
Did you see the path that they are walking up to the building?
Yeah, it's like a big zigzag, right?
A very specifically shaped lightning bolt. And the logo of the company he works for, that exact same lightning bolt.
Yes, yeah. I remember seeing that logo inside.
The crack in the wall in his apartment. The
same
exact
logo,
same shape. The lightning that strikes the ship, the path up to the volcano. And I believe, I didn't go check my DVD downstairs, but I think that is the same shape of the path that Cesare walks up in The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, maybe the greatest German expressionist film.
Whoa.
And normally it'd be like, no, Indy, you're seeing too much into it. But the way this writer has written it, I think that's very deliberate. So we get all of that stuff, and it does exactly what it should. And then he gets his diagnosis from Robert Stack. To me, that's just the guy from Unsolved Mysteries.
Oh, yeah.
And he was very good because I think just because I have that association with him,
Yeah.
it scares me when he talks.
He has such a good voice.
Great voice.
Just his like tone is always like really, really good. So I felt like he was very believable as a doctor giving bad news because he's got that like tone.
And then after he gets the bad news, this shot really stood out to me. He gets out and it's a single shot that lasts, I don't know, 20, 30 seconds, way longer than most shots ever do. And it's slowly pulling back and it's him on this red and green building. And he's standing there and the woman with the giant dog comes up.
Oh, yeah.
This is the first kind of dose of color we've gotten, outside
Yes.
of the one flower that gets trampled, of course.
Uh-huh.
And we now see him, this colorful world is literally opening up in front of our eyes.
Right.
But does he go and rejoice in all this color? No, he's still scared because he has bad news. He thinks he's going to die. And he goes and just hugs this dog and this woman. And it was so sad
It was
that
sad.
he is free of this job and that was taking his soul, but still he's too scared to go out there on his own. I loved the horror lighting that they used before the storm when he's on the boat.
Oh,
It
yeah.
had that kind of the green coloring and it's just fog. You can't see anything. Did you have any visuals that you specifically really liked?
I think the visual of them walking up the pathway, the Panoscope logo pathway to the
At the beginning?
at the beginning, the daisy
Yeah.
coming up out of the ground, the crack in the ground. I thought that the boats, or not the boat scene, the luggage raft scene was
Right.
really great. And I love that the luggage just kept coming back.
What do you think about the luggage?
I thought that it was like a very cool device that like he was like continuously being saved by this luggage that was bought for him with money that he was never supposed to be able to like attain.
So is it money that's saving him?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. That goes against everything that I thought about the movie.
Oh.
So I'm going to argue against it, but that's
Okay.
very valid.
It just felt like no matter what he did, it all just kept coming back to money.
Oh, so I took it as one of his biggest problems is loneliness. He is ultimately alone for most of the movie. Like, one of my very favorite parts of the whole movie was his interactions with the limo driver, played by Ozzie Davis, who was just fantastic. I feel like I could talk about that for so long, but I also don't have so much to say. I just loved it. I loved their interactions. I loved that he bought him a suit and how he wanted to go hang out with his family.
Yeah.
So he wants the limo driver to come with him, and he says he can't. And Joe also says, like, well, I guess there's just some things you have to do alone, I guess. And then we see him having these fancy dinners, but alone, that he can do these things with money, like you were talking about, but he's not enjoying them because you need to be with someone to
enjoy it fully.
those sort of things. I kind of took the luggage to be, like, very literally, it's like the baggage he's accumulated through his life, but also that is his link to the world. You can't be just alone. Both him and Meg Ryan, the third version, they say, oh, how does she phrase it? Someplace untouched by man or away from the world of man or something like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
And that's what she wants, but you can't. You can't just be alone
Away.
forever.
Yeah.
And I thought the luggage was a reminder of his link to the rest of the world. And although he is much better for getting rid of certain parts, like getting outside of that capitalist system, getting away from things that make him, that don't fulfill him, and going on an adventure, because this is all about a call to adventure, tries to see what else is out there and to break out of his everyday routine. So all of those things are good, but it also was a reminder that yes, you can go on all of these adventures, see all of these new things, but you are still part of the world. You cannot get away from that ever.
Right.
And in the end, that is not something Like luggage usually would be something that drags him down. Here, it's something that literally lifts him up and keeps him afloat.
Yes.
That, yes, you should go do all of those things, but remember, you are part of this society. And that's what kind of rescues him, just like Meg Ryan, the third version, does. She is that too. She is his link to the rest of the world. She literally is trying to tell him, you don't need to jump in there. But of course they do anyways. So I thought of the luggage and Meg Ryan being a link to the rest of the world. And he is that for her, because she also wants to be out there just away from the world of man.
Right.
But she falls in love and realizes like there are parts of that I cannot leave, and I'm better for not leaving them.
Yeah. Whoa.
I think. I don't know.
No, I like that. That was really great. Yeah, I guess it's a good representation of like you can never really leave.
Yeah.
Like people love to say like, oh, we live off grid and we don't take any like electricity or gas or water from.
But if
like,
you're saying that to someone, you're not all the way out.
Exactly. And something that you consume involves those things.
I bet there are people who are completely on their own, but you know what? We can't hear from them. They're completely on their own.
Exactly. They're not out here like proselytizing about how they're off grid, which I feel like people who are like mostly off grid but still want to talk about it love to like tell you just how wasteful and like consumptive your life is.
Other little symbols I liked was his little lamp that he has at the beginning, which tells the story of the rest of the movie. If you look at the
I know.
lamp.
I was looking at that and then I was thinking about it and I meant to Google a photo of it because I was thinking, I was like, was that just the whole movie on a lamp?
And I think the tune it plays keeps coming back throughout the movie as well.
Oh.
But I didn't really pay attention to that. I did through the first little bit, and then there were so many other things I've kind of forgot about it.
Oh.
And then I think the volcano, I don't know, is that oblivion? Is that adventure? Or maybe it's just the unknown, because he's struggling with the very concept of the unknown. Everything in his life is things that he knows, things that he hates, but he also knows and is comfortable with. And then him breaking free from that is kind of what the movie is most about, maybe.
Right. Whoa, man.
And then the brain cloud maybe is just...
Brain cloud. I feel like I've had a brain cloud my entire life.
Oh, I've had a brain cloud for quite a bit. I think that's less of a medical condition and maybe just more of a stand-in for modern alienation or malaise or ennui that I always say.
You love an ennui moment.
I know I don't.
I mean, you love to use the word ennui.
You just say, oh, what's wrong with you today? And I'm just like, general malaise, or I have ennui.
Yeah. Sometimes you just get the ennui.
And he's had that for a very long time. And he's always just saying, like, what's wrong with you? I just don't feel good.
Yeah.
And that is the most simple thing, but also kind of the perfect thing that he could say of, what's wrong with you? I just don't feel good.
Honestly, I feel like in our current day and age, we're trained to like not think that that's an okay reason to like not be feeling good.
Yeah.
I just don't feel good. Like there has to be a reason, like I'm getting a cold, or like,
General
I
malaise.
have the stomach flu. I'm like, no, I just don't feel good today. And that should be enough for not doing life that day, but like it's not.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I just don't feel good. I don't know what it is, but it sucks.
And there's definitely a lot of the hero's journey, which is a Joseph Campbell thing. And also, I don't need to go into all of that. Let's just say a lot of writers have read this book. This writer definitely has. So it kind of goes through plot by plot. You could go to Star Wars and Joe Versus The Volcano, put them side by side, and they have the same kind of progression. And it works.
Yeah.
But I think overall it's the fairy tale nature I like most. Because it starts with a once upon a time, right? Once upon a time, there was a man named Joe.
I think so, yeah.
And even that, I think, is very clever because once upon a time makes you think of all this fantasy. Makes you think of princesses and dragons and all sorts of fantastic things. And then the next line is, there was a man named Joe, which is maybe the most boring you could make
that's like
it.
the most basic name you could make.
So I like that dichotomy right at the beginning. And then do we see a fantastical world? No, we see this terrible office and
Yeah.
people marching what looks
Looking-
like to their death.
Yeah, looking so sad and just consumed by this grayness.
But it still has that fantasy and fairy tale logic throughout. A lot of characters are archetypes. There's a lot of really magic. There's a lot of magical coincidences. There's the stylized repetition. Like there's 3 little pigs, there's 3 little Meg Ryans, and it kind of all. Although I think the voice on the airplane is also Meg Ryan, so maybe that's kind of like a 4th.
Oh.
And then we get straight up classical mythology because you need to sacrifice someone to the gods to appease them.
So that their island can continue floating in the ocean, which is crazy.
But it's not clear, through most of the movie at least, we don't think that it will actually work. We think that it will appease the people living there so this rich industrialist can take their minerals.
Yeah.
So that's, again, that kind of juxtaposition of the terrible reality that we live in and this fairy tale world. And they're at odds with each other, but also kind of seem complementary and fit into each other pretty well a lot of the time.
Yeah. Huh.
I guess we should talk about the island. It's the exact opposite of the first third of the movie. It's bright, it's colorful, and the whole time you're like, ooh, this is real racist. And you're like, wait, is it though?
Yeah.
Because anytime we see a tribal people who are living off the land, it always, especially in older movies, are like, ooh, this is going to be dicey. But then they've already set it out that the people there are, I think it's Jewish, Roman, Polynesian, and Druids or something like that.
Yeah.
So then you're like, okay, so it's not all indigenous people. And then when you have Nathan Lane and Abe Vigoda, Abe Vigoda playing the people in the tribe, you're like, okay, well, I guess it works because it did say that it was like this big multicultural group. And also the song at the beginning is Hava Nagila.
Oh yeah. Oh, I totally missed that. That's funny. But it just like, yeah, they've kind of over classified them in order to make it so that it's like kind of a little bit of everything.
And I don't think it was because they didn't want it to be offensive or something. I think they did it just for the comedic value.
Yeah, I think so.
And it just works out that 30 years later, 35 years later, we can watch it and be like, oh, it's not offensive now because they put in those caveats and they did these big jokes. Also, what I liked is they don't shy away from the ideas of exploitation and colonialism because these people are being taken advantage of.
Yes.
And that is a plot point of it and a theme throughout the movie. Like Joe's been taken advantage of. These people have been too. Joe gets a better outcome though because they just sink into the ocean and I guess that's it.
And they're all dead. That was quite the ending, honestly. Like that was crazy.
And I guess it is a fairy tale or all of that Jungian stuff where it's about this one person and we kind of just don't really think about all of the other people, like how Dee Dee is still going to live that miserable life. All these people just drown, I assume. Maybe they have boats. I don't know.
I don't know.
But they love orange soda.
Oh, man. Me too.
Do you?
Orange soda's great.
I think all soda is pretty great. But I think I average 1 orange soda every 5 years because I just don't drink sodas.
Yeah, true.
They're so delicious, but I know how bad they are for me.
Yeah, they're not good for you.
And then that one scene that I was talking about that I really loved is when he's on his raft of luggage, his link to the rest of the world, and he has this kind of hallucination / epiphany, and all he says was, I forgot how big. I think he says, dear God, whose name I don't know. I forgot how big. Thank you for my life. And I love that because so often writers, and rightfully so, have a hard time trying to articulate something like that. And he is the same. And all he can say in this moment of realizing his connection to the universe, his place, and ultimately maybe insignificance, but still importance at the same time is, I forgot how big. Because people do such a bad job of trying to articulate something like that. And he is or the writer here is playing that he can't either, but in his inability to go on and be poetic, he almost does a better job by just saying, I forgot how big. Thank you for my life.
Yeah. It's like such a basic sentence, but it works.
It works. Just like this movie. Do you have any other little bits that we haven't had a chance to talk about as I kind of just went on my rambles in this one?
I enjoy your rambles. But I enjoyed I guess we kind of touched on it a bit, but the beginning being so gray and awfully lit and like a lack of joy to the like quick shift of the island. I felt like that was such an interesting way to transition into this like new part of his life.
Yeah, and I think we kind of get a journey on the way there because we get the terrifying world of his work, and then we get to see more of New York, and it's still like not a great looking New York, but we get all those colors in the windows.
Yeah.
And then we go to Los Angeles and they're looking out over the city. And to me, it does not look pleasant.
No.
But they are playing it as like, look how beautiful this is. And there's more colors coming into the world. And then ultimately with the island where everything is orange and green and bright. And there's pretty much no black and white there.
Yeah. Yeah, I did like the gradient of color as you get closer to the end and closer to like him meeting his end. I really liked just Meg Ryan. Meg Ryan was so great in this, and she was charming in 3 different ways.
Which Meg Ryan was your favorite performance?
I think Angelica.
Yeah, that's tough. I might go Dee Dee because she has a chance to do little reaction things more.
Yeah.
And I loved that because I loved when Dee Dee was happy with something because we see her like not happy at first. And then when her face lights up, I thought that was great. Angelica is just a funnier performance.
Oh,
so.
it's such a good performance. Like,
There's so
much
many
to
line deliveries in this movie. That's what I was laughing at, is how often they use a really flat delivery. Like when there's the big pitch of, give me your last month, you can do this, you're going to go to this island, all expenses paid, then you jump into a volcano. And he goes like, yeah, sure, okay.
Yeah.
I loved that.
His delivery.
I loved when she professes her love for him at the end and he does the same and he goes, but your timing is terrible. Gotta go. Like, there were so many great flat deliveries that were very funny to me.
Yeah.
And I think Angelica had the funniest deliveries of lines just because her way of speaking was hilarious to me.
I also love that she was like so unserious, but serious at the same time.
Yeah.
She was like, I'm a flibberty gibbet.
Yes,
Which is such a good word.
Gibbet.
Great word. But also she's just like, she knows how ridiculous she is. And she's like, she's okay with it. Like, honestly, she's like, this is who I am. And my circumstances have made me like this. And so like, why fight it?
I think that's very accurate in the 3 versions, and like I was talking about their reliance upon the capitalist system, that she is the one who, yes, I am in this. No, I don't love it, but I'm doing what I can with it, right? And she seems kind of resigned to, although I'm not sure, because at the end, I feel like she has had a bit of an awakening, and maybe if we followed her for another month after, maybe things would be different for her. Maybe she would be like... I forget the third one's name.
Patricia?
Patricia. Maybe she would be like Patricia because we stay with Patricia longer and she's at the same place, but she hates that about herself. And then she's ultimately freed of those constraints. I think with Angelica, she is realizing that she doesn't like the place she's in and the control her father and the system has on her. I think, but maybe that one I could very much be reading into it because it just seems like she changes a little bit in her short time with Joe.
Yeah.
And she has a very confident walk away at the end that made me think like things are going to change from her.
Yeah.
But who knows?
I could see that. And my other thing that I liked and find very interesting and would love to see is that there was a stage musical made of this movie in 2012.
Really?
Yeah.
I was going to say this movie, I think, lends itself well to the stage.
I think so. Because it's 3 sets, really.
Yeah.
And like the shopping stuff and everything is pretty easy to like make into kind of just in between sets.
Or maybe you just cut that stuff out, or if I were directing it, maybe it would be black stage and then there's moving spotlights of things coming
That's
in.
kind of
that's
what
he's
you
shopping
can
at.
do like a moving set for that and just have like just individual pieces. And so, yeah, I think that this would lead to good lyrics.
Yeah?
I think it's enough that, yeah,
I would watch this.
I would too.
But then again, I'd probably be upset when they ruin it because
probably.
I've only watched a few musical adaptations of movies I liked, and I did not care for them. Looking at you, Heathers.
Ooh, whoa. Well, Indy, any final thoughts?
I don't know. I feel like I've been monologuing a lot on this one, but I think I kind of covered it. Yeah. I think this is a great and surprising movie. I think it is a fun fairy tale. I think there are so many layers. If you lead with it being very anti-capitalist, you're going to win me over. And this did, and it did.
And it did.
And then you get very charming Meg Ryans in 3 different ways. I don't think I've ever had the opportunity to see her play like something that's this much of a stretch where she gets to do so much like fun character work, and the way she speaks and her mannerisms, she never gets to be this wacky. So I loved that. That might have been one of my favorite things, but I think this movie is also hilarious. Samantha did not, but watch it. You tell me. I think this movie holds up so well. I think it should be more well known than it is. And it was a big surprise to me how much I loved this movie, but I think it's absolutely fantastic.
And everyone should go see it.
Everyone should go see it.
Quick,
back to 1990. I'm going to buy this because I don't own it.
Oh, that's surprising.
Well, I saw it once when I was 5.
Oh, I guess, yeah. Okay, you're right. But yeah, I think people should go see it and tell us what they think.
But you still put it as the 3rd best one. Even less than Sleepless in Seattle, which is mostly about stalking someone you've never met.
Yeah, I don't know. I just enjoyed it more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, go listen to those other 2 episodes and tell us what your favorite Meg Ryan Tom Hanks movie is.
Yeah.
I want them to do one now. That'd
Me
be fun.
too. Yeah, I think that would be nice to see them like grown up.
All grown up.
All grown up.
Is this the worst hair Tom Hanks has had in a movie?
Oh, it was so terrible.
There's those Da Vinci Code and Angels and Demons. Is that what that one was called?
Yeah.
He has real bad hair in that too.
He
I
does.
think.
He does.
But in this, it made sense.
Yes. Yeah, because he's living in a terrible world.
Aren't we all?
Yeah. Okay, everyone.
On that note.
On that note, we will see you next week. Bye.
Goodbye.